All right, folks. If you're watching this, it means that the Yankees just walked off, and not only walked off, but they clinched a playoff spot. And now they are 1 game away, pretty much 2 games away, actually 2 games away because of the tiebreaker, of the Blue Jays. After the Blue Jays fell 4-1, the Yankees won 3-2 against the White Sox. Gary, you and I were very excited about this. We texted about this, and I think you and I both understand the gravity of the situation here. We were talking about it off air a little bit, and really just simply put, there was no, yeah, we didn't get him today, but we can get him tomorrow. No. When the Red Sox help you out, especially without Crochet or Bayo pitching tonight, because we gave them a loss. We said that Gausman would beat Giolito. When they help you out tonight, there is no excuse against a White Sox team that is just playing for pride at this point. So I don't care who it was. The fact that they were able to come away with the win, Caballero was the hero. I thought Anthony Volpe was great tonight. You know, I loved what I saw from Austin Wells. Ben Rice is the hottest hitter on the team right now. There were a lot of good things to take away from this game. I thought Luis Hill pitched very well. To be able to win a game like this is exactly what a championship caliber team does. It doesn't matter who it is. When you don't have your best stuff, you don't have your bats, it's can you come alive when it's needed? And they did tonight. I'm very excited about this win.
Yeah, Jake, I don't care at all who they're playing. Couldn't have cared less. We don't care about the White Sox, and with all due respect. If we were playing one of the best teams in the league, we'd say this is a must-win game. If we're playing the White Sox, it's a must-win game. It's the situation that we're in, and if we had lost this game, we would have been pissed. We would have been saying we just fumbled an opportunity. And I can tell you, the Yankees normally, throughout the years, they don't win this game. They don't. Let's be honest about this team. Normally, we'll hit back-to-back homers. You get Stan homer, you'll get Judge homer. We're up 5-0 in the 5th inning, and you're like, hey, we can win this game, and we end up winning it. Okay, great. But how many games do the Yankees have a come-from-behind win in a must-win game? We just did that today. So everybody should be thrilled. Now, you don't have to be happy that we're in this situation to begin with, but Boston drew blood today. And this is the team that I know there were some people in our comments going, I could never root for Boston. It's not what we're really doing. We're rooting against Toronto in the moment, which is that we need them to lose. Now, Jake, I thought you brought it up a pretty good point pre-show. You mentioned we thought Boston actually would lose game 1. We thought Toronto would win this game, and then tomorrow where Crochet throws, that's an opportunity for Boston to really draw some blood in the series. Guys, we have blood already. The Red Sox have already taken a 1-0 lead in that series, and you have to imagine they're going to take 2 of 3, if not sweep this team, given who's pitching. Tomorrow's Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer against Crochet is a mismatch. Now, it's no guarantee this is a future Hall of Famer who deserves respect, but he's not in the prime of his career the way Crochet is. So it's very realistic, guys, that this time tomorrow night, the New York Yankees are surrendering the tiebreaker, but they are tied with the Toronto Blue Jays for first place. In that situation, that's advantage Yankees. I know people say it's a long shot, whatever. When you tee up an opportunity to create pressure, you want to be the team that's playing hot baseball, that's just created pressure. I promise you guys, Jake, I know you said that Toronto was going to surrender this division. Part of that was because of pressure and who they are. Well, we're going to really find out who they are by tomorrow night.
It's true. It's a huge game. Garrett Crochet, and I mean, let's be honest here. Max Scherzer is 41 years old. The time to face Max Scherzer is right now. This is when you start to really feel the grueling, the feel of the season. You're an older pitcher. I would say early on in the season, maybe he hasn't quite acclimated. I would say the middle of the year, Max Scherzer's at his best, right? But right now, he has not had any good outings lately. And Garrett Crochet is up for the Cy Young. Like, we're talking about one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. So, yeah, the Red Sox, they need to win. They know they need to win. I think they're going to win tomorrow. I think it presents a really good opportunity because the Yankees now, having won this game with Heel on the mound and Heel pitched well, now you have your ace and Max Fried. This will be the last start he makes until Hopefully not the wild card. Hopefully it is the ALDS. But this is the last start of the year. He has a chance to have a league-leading 19 wins on the season, if that matters to him. I don't think it matters as much as just a win for the New York Yankees. But, Gary, the Yankees are in the driver's seat here. You said it. I mean, I think we knew that. The idea that they could win this game with Giolito against Gausman and give Gausman some fits. He did not have a good game today. He gave up 4 runs. He gave up 9 hits. The Red Sox got after him. They left guys on base, and then eventually they were able to draw enough blood to win the game. You bring in Aroldis Chapman. It's kind of automatic at that point. Well, tomorrow, Crochet, and this is important, Gary, because if you look, the Red Sox used a ton of their bullpen arms for this win because they knew tomorrow with Crochet, they're not planning on doing that. Crochet is going to go in, and he's going to shut them down. He's probably going to go 7 innings at least. Maybe he goes 8, and then you'll bring in Chapman, and you don't have to worry that you used Whitlock, today. So tomorrow is a huge game, but I think the Red Sox win. And then I think it really gets to that point where, the Yankees, who reconfigured their rotation, are actually going to pitch Carlos Rodon against Davis Martin. And then the Red Sox, that's going to be a tough one. We'll see how game 3 goes, but that would be Brian Bayo taking on Shane Bieber. So that could go either way. But regardless, as you brought up, the Yankees are applying a lot of pressure here, winning this game. The Red Sox are applying pressure. And really, I just want to address this because I keep hearing the whole, they brought it up on the broadcast and Oswaldo wasn't even sure what he was talking about. Love Oswaldo, by the way. Great broadcast. Very, very wholesome, right? That said, he sounded ridiculous. He's like, I can understand both. I can't. Are you kidding me? The Red Sox, you are 3 games ahead of right now. So if you just keep winning, the Red Sox can't come back.
You should never be rooting for the Red Sox to lose at all right now.
There's zero negative.
If Boston took care of Toronto, let's just say they sweep, and you guys who play the White Sox, and who else do we play, Jake?
The Orioles.
We play the Chicago White Sox, thank you, and the Baltimore Orioles. If Boston sweeps Toronto and then plays the final series of the year, and regardless of what they do, run you down, who's 3 games up, with the teams that you saw in your schedule, you guys collapse. It has nothing to do with Boston. Really doesn't. You guys did that. So, again, we're not rooting for Boston for the simple sake of going, go Red Sox. Can't wait to go watch you guys. No, it's about how they can be useful to us. They can send us, believe it or not, guys, if Boston can go out and play good baseball the next couple days, we're not sitting here in a wild card. We're preserving our bullpen. We're preserving, essentially saving a start for our rotation. Guys, if you want to win the World Series, if you want any chance in hell, you don't want to be in the wild card. You don't. It's not the ticket to win. It's not. Doesn't happen often. So, yeah, again, Toronto is a team right now. They put the ball in play often. They play smart baseball, but there's something to be said for how are you going to play when there's pressure. And right now, Toronto, they're not playing bad baseball, but this is part of the reason why in the last several weeks, even though we said the division was a long shot, this strength of schedule was going to become a factor. And it is now. You guys are finally seeing it. Is it going to be perhaps at the last possible second? Absolutely. But this is why we mentioned that we're playing the Chicago White Sox. This is why we mentioned we're playing these teams that are just not any good. And the Yankees, as far as I'm concerned, you need to win out. You need to find a way to win every single game. And the good news here, the final thing I'll say about Boston, is that it really helps the Yankees, being that Boston is trying to win every one of these games. They're in a situation to fight for us, which is great. And again, shouldn't run us down at all. So I wanted to talk, though, Jake, about, before we get to our super chats here, I wanted to talk about the defense. And I know we could talk about the offense clearly. He's our best hitter right now in Ben Rice. I wanted to discuss him. Now, this is now a player who slotted in 4th in the lineup today, and you just don't even bat an eye. He's one of the better hitters on the team, is the best hitter on the team right now, and he looked superb at first base tonight. Saved Ryan McMahon from multiple errors. He picked about 3 or 4 different balls at first, what did you see from Ben Rice? Because they told us that this was a player, oh no, we can't move him positions. He can't really catch. He can, but we don't love it back there. And now you see he's moving from catcher to first base to DH, no problem. He's just not a problem right now. He is a solution.
He absolutely is. Ben Rice, you have an argument. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic here, but I'm really trying to make a point. Ben Rice has an argument as the most important player in October because him playing at first base, look at this defense. I mean, as great as Ryan McMahon is, how many times do you see a ball go in the dirt? Anthony Volpe, even Jazz. You know, you have a shorter throw, and Jazz still throws the ball in the dirt. You're going to need him to have to scoop, and I think he's gotten a lot better at that over the course of the year. But the thing about Ben Rice is that he can also play catcher. And in addition to that, he's the hottest hitter on the team. So I know that sounds crazy that, you know, you're essentially relying on a guy that you could essentially call a rookie. But Ben Rice is the most important player on this team right now. He just is. Because that bat is really important. Now, obviously, you know, he has the power. He has the ability to drive in runs. But he's gotten much better at taking pitches, working through counts, battling. But then on top of that, you're seeing him, you know, show more in the field. So I understand people are going to say, Judge, no way. And I get that. And I have no issue with that. But I think Ben Rice, because he can impact the game in different ways Judge can't. And that, behind the plate, it gives you that flexibility. If he's able to do that, it gives you the flexibility to play a Goldschmidt in an opportune position. It gives you a flexibility to play Bellinger if you want to do that at first base. It gives you different flexible options that you wouldn't have with a Goldschmidt because he can't play catcher. You wouldn't have with really anyone else. So I think Ben Rice is the X factor. If you ever were looking for one, it's absolutely Ben Rice.
Yeah, because you wouldn't call Aaron Judge an X factor. You could say he's the most important player on the team. If he hits, well, nobody has a ceiling. Nobody can go into the gear that Aaron Judge can go into. Nobody. There's not anybody with that amount of talent. There's not even on either side of the field. But having said that, X factor is some type of hidden gem, a guy we don't game plan for, someone who could be a game changer. Well, Cody Bellinger can be that guy. Right? Trent Grisham, we've mentioned that he can be that guy. You saw, obviously, the big double play ball tonight, which sucked. It killed us at the time. But there are a couple players on a roster, a few, where you can say there's versatility defensively. They can kind of go all over the place. And look what Ben Rice is now doing. Because the first words out of your mouth were about the bat, right? And talking about what Ben Rice has become. And it's now, and I saw it in the comments. Someone goes, wow, like 256 is now elite. Well, 256 is his entire season. Now, the conversation at the beginning of the year was luck. How much of these numbers is predicated on luck? And we didn't really say, we said, all right, he's hitting into some bad luck, but it's also partly his responsibility to hit it where they ain't. That's the game. This isn't hit the ball hard ball. This is baseball. You need to find grass out in the outfield. And since then, Jake, he's done that. They put him at catcher. They said, you know what, enough's enough. You're going to get behind the plate. You're going to play. They did so. Then Paul Goldschmidt, they decided he's not hitting righties. You're going to play first base when we face right-handed pitching. For the most part, that's been the case. Well, since they made that decision, Ben Rice, over the last 7 games, he's hitting .478. Is that elite? Hey, Jake, his last 15 games, he's hitting .360. Is that elite? He's slugging and hitting .360. So, guys, again, this isn't overly long-term. He's hitting over 300 his last 30 games. That's really good. And this is the most important time of the season. So I understand people who will say, oh, this is just a month of baseball. It's the most important regular season month that you'll have. So tip your cap to Ben Rice. And the last thing I'll say about this player is that this now opens the door for the Yankees not feeling like they have to go sign another outfielder. Because if you're saying Trent Grisham has to return, Cody Bellinger has to return, well, if Trent Grisham walks and you throw Cody Bellinger back into the outfield, we used to talk about Bellinger having the versatility to move to first base. Well, I don't need him to move to first base when I got a player by the name of Ben Rice at that corner. So this, Jake, is a good problem to have for the Yankees, but we'll worry about that in the winter. As of now, we've got a player who can take at bats against righties, lefties, anyone that's thrown against him. So I'm excited to see what he does. He's still a young player. I mean, he's not 20, but I'm interested to see what he does against the game's best arms.
Yeah, he's fun to watch, man, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. You made a comment I thought was really funny. It was like the 256 isn't good, or not you, but the comment section was saying, well, hey, let's slow our roll there. I mean, isn't Cal Raleigh going to win the MVP hitting 246? So
thank you. Thank you.
We can't have it both ways. We can't not have it both ways. We can't be like, yeah, 256 is that good, but Cal Raleigh, he's going to win the MVP.
And Cal Raleigh is easily having what we think is the second most the best offensive season for a catcher in the history of baseball. That's my opinion. Now, having said that, his batting average is in the 240s. Well, you don't have to hit 300 to be valuable. We've learned that over time, but with slugging, with walking, we've learned this. Well, that's what we've got in Ben Rice. He's not slapping singles guys to 256. He's hitting the ball harder than, I mean, isn't other than Stanton and Judge, is anyone else hitting the ball harder than Ben Rice?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
By the way, the thing about Ben Rice I want to point out here, because you know what's so funny? Is time flew by. Even though it didn't feel like that, I felt like we felt every part of this season. I don't mean that in a bad way. I love doing this with you. Wouldn't trade it for anything. But with the Yankees, you feel every segment of the season. It feels like different seasons when you cover them every night. When you podcast every night, and guess what? Hate to break it to you, but if you're watching us every night, then you know. You're part of it. You understand it. Like, I bring up as a joke all the time. Yeah, remember Pablo Reyes? That saga feels like 3 seasons ago. That is a reminder.
Yeah, it's like Stranger Things. You're like, you remember season 3? I'm like, oh, when I was in high school?
Yeah.
It came out 8 years ago. So that's what the Yankee season feels like. So I completely agree. It's worn me down.
And this is why I bring it up. Because look at those numbers.
Which is actually, it's really looked like this the whole year, guys.
Yeah.
The stats didn't back it. They didn't. The stats showed a 220 batting average where he was hitting home runs, and we really didn't value that because we looked up and down our lineup, and guys were already hitting home runs. Trent Grisham was hitting homers, right? Everyone was hitting home runs. So you look up and say, well, how valuable really is that? We're more looking for somebody who can take a quality at bat, somebody who can draw a walk, somebody who can get a hit with runners in scoring position. I'm looking for a more well-rounded player. Well, when you look at Savant is not the Holy Bible. This is a tool where you can say, how hard does this guy hit the ball? How often does he do that, right? How often does he chase pitches outside the zone? And when you're in the red in all of it, you're an elite player, at least something we can project into the future and now. No one else on the bench, no one else at this player's position can possibly, on their best day, put up these numbers. So I want people to realize how good this player can be, because this isn't the final form of Ben Rice. I'm excited to see what he does for the full season under his belt, where he just plays, man. He just get out of his way and let him play. Is he Freddie Freeman? Maybe not. But maybe a Brandon Belt, as we said, Jake, with some pop.
He's a lot better than Brandon Belt if he keeps this up.
Yeah, that's fair.
We're talking about, he's what people thought Greg Bird was. That's what I'm going to say.
Shout out to Greg Bird.
I
thought he was going to be.
I never bought into it.
You didn't?
I never bought into Bird.
I was so bought in.
I was not bought in. Mainly because
I'm not ashamed to say
I didn't like the on base percentage at the time.
Fair.
And I just felt like he was kind of a home run or strikeout guy. I mean, I appreciated him. Don't get me wrong. This is not me crapping on him. I just feel like Ben Rice, let's say in year 2, right? Let's call it year 2. I mean, he had 178 plate appearances. I would say he's not a rookie. Me personally. I don't know exactly.
I agree with you completely.
Yeah. So year 2, you're telling me this guy has a 90 percentile chase percentage. Everything is above average at the plate. What does that mean for him in the future? Because I hate to break it to you, for anybody that thought that this guy should have been traded at the deadline, for anybody that thought that this guy is just kind of this, oh yeah, you know, he gets off to a good start, he's going to drop off. I think I understand where it's coming from, because you look at Miguel Andujar and you probably, you know, he comes in second place for Rookie of the Year, and you're thinking, wow, you have a star there potentially. And then he falls off a cliff. I can't predict the future. I'm not going to sit here and say that Ben Rice is guaranteed, but I will say this. I have no concerns with Ben Rice as long as he stays healthy. I think outside of health, he's shown you he's not just going to magically fall off. I don't think teams are just going to figure him out because I think that was part of last year. That's why I'm so excited, Gary, because when you look at Ben Rice, that's what it was. After the 3 home run game, teams started hitting him with the breaking balls and really frustrated him. This year is the backlash of that. How do you react to that? Because everybody has your number. Oh, what do? Off season, first thing we hear, I added 10 pounds of muscle. I'm hitting the ball 115 off the bat in spring
Which
training.
is easy to take with a grain of salt. Because, I mean, we hear that, right? We hear, what's his name? Zion Williamson. They're like, he lost 20 pounds. Here's a picture of him. He's shredded. And he's going to have a great season this year. He's not going to be huge. Then he gets there in the regular season, and he's sitting on the sidelines, and he's overweight, right? Well, Ben Rice said that he was putting on weight. Can't you tell?
Oh, you can tell.
Really? Can't you tell? You saw with the exit velocity, guys just don't start hitting the ball harder because they choose to. They hit the ball harder because there has to be a reason behind it. And now, and by the way, when I mentioned Ben Rice and you see these stats, because a lot of people are like, well, show me batting average, show me RBIs, show me homers, show me the production. I don't care about all the stats. Guys, keep in mind the only reason Cody Bellinger was even available to be had by the Cubs and they were able to give him a 2 or 3 year contract and not a 10-year deal was actually because Cody Bellinger's numbers, these bars that you guys are looking at, a lot of front offices were looking at these and saying, Cody Bellinger doesn't hit the ball hard enough. Cody Bellinger doesn't hit it hard enough, often enough. So if that was how Major League Baseball looked at Cody Bellinger, a player who had won the MVP prior with the Dodgers, one of the most famous organizations in the history of sports, what does Major League Baseball think about Ben Rice and his value? I promise you guys, it's not just how valuable is this player. When people were saying to trade him or whatever, I understand why some people were like, oh, we can trade this player because the Yankees were choosing not to utilize him and play him every day. So that's where the frustration comes in. Jason Dominguez in the same situation. But when you look at somebody, and these are the numbers, they hit the ball hard consistently. They leave the ballpark. They can play multiple positions defensively. They don't complain when they don't play. They play well when they do. This is the guy you keep. And we'll see what they do this winter as far as their adjustments to the roster because it won't stay the exact same. But there's going to be some players that you say, I'm okay with letting him walk because this certain player, Ben Rice, he's going to get a step up in his role, in his we're going to let him execute. So, Daniel, I know you're burning into the screen, my guy. Really appreciate the super with the 10. Thank you for that. Let's get to our supers. Says, was there tonight, 10th game of the year. God, that's a good year right there, making it to 10 games. Jake, he has the opposite problem that we have. They were 9-1 on the season, obviously, while he was there. Unbelievable. Half the stadium left after the 8th inning. That cabbie at bat was a battle. So Daniel stuck it out. Reminds me actually a lot of the 2012 finals when, was it 2013 finals when all the Miami Heat crowd took off in the fourth quarter and then LeBron and Ray Allen went off. But guys, that's sports, man. If you're at a sporting event and your team's about to suffer a devastating loss, people leave. It just is what it is. Now, there's some people.
No one wants to see it.
Now, Daniel, who will say, no, I paid all this money. This is my 10th game of the year. I'm going to stick it out and see what happens. Because you might be there for magic, and the Yankees don't normally win this game. So, Daniel, props to you, man. That's hopefully you were there with the family because that is awesome.
Yeah, no, props to you for sure. We love that. And this game, man, it wasn't fun, most of it. I mean, it wasn't. We talked about this, Gary. It wasn't. As a matter of fact, I have my iPad right next to my screen, and I told you this off air. Gotham Sports was just rerunning the game, and I was like, nope, I don't want that in my... Because it's fun at the end, right? But I don't need to watch strikeouts and bad at-bats, and I don't need to. Tonight was bad baseball all around. There's bad fielding, there was bad hitting, there was bad base running. This is when the best teams show they're the best teams. Find a way. Just find a way. No one's going to care in October. No one's going to take away points on a win in the ALCS because, I don't know, Gary, on September 23rd on a Tuesday, it took them until the bottom of the ninth inning to come through and beat the White Sox. No one's going to care.
It shouldn't come to this. Yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry because I have to say it, and you know what I'm going to say. Michael Taylor, okay, the center fielder.
Oh, my God.
I'm glad he didn't catch it, but guys, comment section, I need your help. Are you diving for that with 2 outs and trying to make the catch? Or are you just going to let it fall and try and throw Judge out when he's not even... It's improbable to throw him out.
He was almost past home plate by the time he released the ball. Now, mind you, no telling if he would have caught the ball. But by the time you played the ball as conservatively as you did, the game was over. Once the ball landed, it was done. So the fact that he wasn't laying out, and Jake, you mentioned the fact he's a defensive replacement. What the hell are you doing? Run. You're one of the fastest players on the field. You should be running and doing a Superman dive. And if you miss it, who cares? The winning run was already walking to the plate anyways. You have to catch that baseball. So thankfully, he was boneheaded and didn't make that attempt. The Yankees win. No, nobody can.
And by the way, guys, Caballero, though.
Very happy for him. It couldn't be happier. Love the style. Someone called him the Dave Roberts of the team. I know you've mentioned that before. And people are finally starting to really... is he exactly Dave Roberts? No, guys.
He's going to do more than Dave Roberts. But,
right. But the style... The Yankees don't normally have a player to do dirty work. Where I'll just slap a ball and see what happens. Put the ball in play, and maybe something ugly will happen, and I can change a game. The Yankees don't play that type of baseball. And Caballero is bringing that to the team. So how valuable is that going to be? We're going to find out. And guys, I meant to mention like 5 minutes into the show, call to action. Make sure if you're just joining us for the first time, you guys hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. We are live every single day. And make sure you guys hit that like button. It helps out the channel immensely. It shouldn't, but it does. And Jake obviously has slapped the subscribe button on the screen. And Zachary Morris with the 2, really appreciate it, Zachary, says, what a great time to be a baseball fan. What a great time to be a Yankees fan, man. And
yeah,
we're going to... What did you think, by the way, when you saw... Because I think the celebration, we heard that in our comment section. I don't want to see them celebrate if they're a wild card team, but... Every single team celebrates when they make the wild card. It just is what it is. Now, someone would say, well, you guys have a different standard. Your standard is win the division and go win the World Series, and that's it. Those things happen in order, and then we move on. Well,
I get that. I do.
I understand it, but guys, keep in mind, if we go out there, win the wild card, we don't celebrate, you get what you want, and then what? We get eliminated in the division series. We don't celebrate the whole year. We don't do anything. Now, again, making it to the division series isn't an accomplishment for us, but it kind of erodes the fun of the journey. And we'll complain at the end. Like when they get eliminated, wherever they get eliminated, if they do, we'll complain about it then. But let's not complain in the process. I think that's where we're at.
Yeah, the way I see it also is especially, I mean, any team, like you said, and you said perfectly, is going to celebrate, right? That's just the way it is.
Yep.
There are 5 games left, Gary. 5. So there's still a chance that they'll be celebrating again that they won the division. Now, if you had told me back when this team was struggling, man, they were struggling. It got down. I think it got below 10 above 500. I think it was below that. I'm pretty sure it was below that.
It was somewhere in that ballpark, like 6 or 7 games above 500. And at that point, it had hit the fan. That's
where they're celebrating from. That's where the celebration comes from.
It's fair.
Because we just talked about it from our perspective and how it's felt like a marathon, not a sprint. It's gone by fast, but it's gone by slow. You feel every day and you enjoy it. But, at the same time, I mean, it's a lot. So if that's just us, two jabronis, as Gary would put it, just sitting here every night talking for an hour or two about the thing that we love and getting to interact with you guys sitting in a chair for just 2 hours. Imagine how these guys feel, because what you see on TV is far from what they work on. That's not it. They're constantly working on their game. They're constantly at the ballpark super early. How early did your dad have to get to the ballpark for batting practice?
He usually got there very early. You can say 7 p.m. game in New York. I'd say he'd get there around noon.
Yeah. So there you go. Your
11:30
entire
noon.
day.
It's a long time.
And then on top of that, you're saying he got there at noon and the game was at 7. The game doesn't end until likely 10, 10:30, and this is before the pitch clock, so sometimes maybe even 11, right? Like, that's almost your entire day.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine playoffs? Like, playoff time, Yankees Red Sox was like 5.5 hours.
Yeah.
And people used to look at me and be like, why do you like this? I'm like, the longer the better. Let it play. Let it run. It just is what it is. But you give up everything, and there are a ton of... Look how many ups and downs there are for each individual player. Look at Anthony Volpe. Look at this dude.
Oh,
this dude, first of all, he showed up. They're like, oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. The glove's awesome. The bat needs to get going, but he'll be fine. Guys, we trust him. Don't even worry. It's not even a conversation of who's playing. It's Volpe. Remember the Volpe, the nickname.
Oh, yeah, that
he's
just
elite.
came out of nowhere.
Right, absolutely out of nowhere. Never heard it. Now he's Volpe. He shows up. He's bad. And we're like, oh, he'll get it fixed. We didn't say that, but they said it. And then it kept getting worse. Then he hurts his shoulder, unfortunately. And they didn't tell us, but they did a scan and we're like, oh, his shoulder is screwed up. And he was playing the worst baseball from that point that we'd ever seen. It was horrible. He was bad defensively. They were yelling at Talking Yanks, right? And Aaron Boone, oh my gosh, why are you asking me this? What do you mean he's not accurate? What do you mean? It's an obvious question that we can ask based on these numbers and the data. And then you have all that going on. Then you go get Caballero and you say, oh, Caballero's going to play with Volpe. Volpe gets a quarter zone shot. Who's he been since then? A good baseball player. Yeah. Since that moment. And you mean to tell me Anthony Volpe doesn't want to celebrate the fact that he's playing good baseball the most important time of the year? Look at these guys. They just do. Ryan McMahon's you text me, Jake, 4 for his last 40. That's going on currently offensively. So there's so much struggle that happens with this game and deserve criticism, but also they get their day in the sun. Let's let them do that. Apex with the super with the 2 says heel game 3, Cam and Warren for the pen. Sunday starting pitcher Yarby. What do you think about that, Jake?
I don't think they're going to start. Wait, is that confirmed?
I have no idea if this is portraying confirmation. I would be shocked if Yarby was starting.
I don't think Yarby starts ever.
I highly doubt it.
I think their entire plan was to get him ready to be a starter in case there's an injury. Yes. But also, he can be a starter in that kind of double-barreled action we've talked about.
Would you start Yarby if the Yankees, let's just say Toronto, they land back on their feet, and they start beating Boston? Let's say they win, they beat Crochet, they beat, Bayo, and you say, okay, well, we're not the division's history. We're now playing for first place in the wild card, and let's just say first place is shored up. I think at that moment, I put Yarby out there, maybe to preserve guys and tee up a start. But if we're talking about the divisions in play, there's no way in hell you can throw out Yarby right now. That's no disrespect to him. He's not one of our 4 best options.
No, I agree completely. If it does come down to preserving, your pitchers, and you can't lose a spot because you don't want to lose home field advantage in the wild card.
No.
So, if as long as it's like that, then okay. Yeah, I'd throw Yarby in there for a game, but I don't expect
Ed W
that.
says Yarby was Joel Sherman's suggestion for last game of the year. Yeah, if the last game of the year is a meaningless baseball game, and we're not telling you this because we think Yarby deserves to pitch in meaningless baseball, but our goal between now and the end of the regular season isn't for Yarby to pitch a big game. It's to get him ready for innings in October if we need him. That's not a scenario to pitch him in a must-win game. So, if we're in that situation, then Yarby can come out of there. So we'll see what happens. And Brian with the 5. Brian, we really appreciate it. Thank you. Says, after this game and Toronto's loss, I fully believe we win the division. This win puts us in the driver's seat, win out, and we're the number 1 seed. Yeah, you said there's 5 games left, Jake. I haven't checked, but I assume you're correct. Mm-hmm. There's 5 games left in the season. You've got to go 5-0. Toronto's got a tough schedule. You would pass them if you did that. So we should, instead of just staring at the scoreboard, very difficult to do, but if we do what we're supposed to do, we're going to win this division. We're playing bad baseball teams, and baseball's hard to predict, but if we just take this one day at a time, I think it's possible. And I can't believe I'm saying this because I know for a fact 3 weeks ago, I was like, there's no way in hell we win this division. And we had an episode. We're like, we're cooked. And no one in our comments disagreed, Jake. Not one person. So, if people want to say, I
went back on it.
Yep.
But now you can
and it
see
takes
the
a lot
vision.
for you to do it.
You could see the vision, though, where I was coming from when I originally said it.
Of course.
But to be fair, when they lost that game, what was the game they lost?
You talking about the Detroit series?
No. You know what it was?
What was it?
I'll tell you what it was. It was losing that game to Minnesota. I was pissed.
Who did we pitch that game?
Rodon. Yeah, there's no excuse. Woods Richardson just like dominated the Yankees.
Yes, he did.
And as you texted me, he didn't even pitch that well. He didn't throw the ball that well. They just sucked. So that had me kind of believing. All my belief kind of went out the door because we talked about it. They had a chance to beat Boston in that last game. They made a nice comeback. But Crochet was on the mound. Warren was on the road, And the thing about that was you just felt good leaving Boston winning 2. Like, it would have been nice to win the 3rd. Obviously, it'd be great right now. But it felt good to just get 2. And then you're like, oh, we'll go to Minnesota. Minnesota literally would have put their fan base on the trade deadline trade block. There's nobody there. They'll win. You got Rodon, Woods Richardson. You lose that game. And then you win the next 2, and it's like they score 10 runs in both of them, and it's like it doesn't even matter because you lost that game to the Twins. That has to be one of those automatic, no doubt about it, that's a gift. And so that was frustrating. The 4-2 loss, once again with Will Warren against the Orioles, was frustrating. But truthfully, that Minnesota loss took me out of the feeling of, wow, they're absolutely going to do this. I have no question to, I don't think they're going to do this.
It felt like there was an opportunity. And did they disappoint you in that Detroit series? Yes. Is Detroit still a good team that is playing bad? You can make that argument that we gave up that series, but there's no excuse to not go in there because any of these other teams go play Minnesota, they go play Baltimore. What were people saying? Not us, but everyone else. They were like, hey, Toronto went back. They came from behind on Baltimore. Oh, well, Baltimore, they suck so bad. They don't care about losing these games. Well, I said, well, keep that energy when we play them. Yeah. And we did. And they kept that energy. We played great. What's up?
This is a great tweet. Chris Kirshner. I'm going to bring it up on here because I don't even know what's going on there. So here, I hate the way they do this. I don't understand what's going on.
I've got good vision. I can't see that.
Okay.
Now I can see it.
There we go. Shout out to Chris. This is an awesome tweet. This is what we call useful. You know why? Because everybody gets to learn a thing or two because of this tweet. So, Kirshner tweets, the Yankees have 5 games remaining. A look at whether the division remains in play. Yankees go 5-0. They win the division if the Blue Jays finish 3-2. Yankees go 4-1. The Blue Jays have to finish 2-3. The Yankees go 3-2. Blue Jays have to finish 1-4. The Yankees go 2-3. And the Blue Jays have to go 0-5. So,
can you put your cursor up real quick? Because I see it on the screen. Yeah, let's leave it on that line right there that you had it.
Yep.
Just Yankees go 4-1, win division if the Blue Jays finish 2-3. I genuinely believe that's what you're looking at. If the Yankees win the division. Nope, did nothing. But I think, now mind you, we want 5-0. We do.
Yes.
But I think when you're talking being realistic, if it was that easy to beat inferior talent, then everyone would be rich. They would just sell the house, throw the mortgage on the Yankees to go beat the underdog, the Brewers to go beat the underdog, and you would just be fine. But baseball is baseball. You get a bad bounce here, you get a bad bounce there. It can't undo the win or loss record, to the point where you're playing 500 ball the rest of the way. But you should go win 4 of these last 5 games. That's where you should be. And I think that's where I'm looking at, where, again, Boston winning that game 1, we didn't have that, Jake. That wasn't on our calendar.
No.
But now that it's happened, Crochet can go out there. If Garrett Crochet looks like Garrett Crochet in this outing, we're well on our way to that 2-3 that Chris Kirshner wrote down. So I think that's the path for the Yankees. I want 5-0, no questions asked. But I think that Toronto may help us out a lot more than people think.
Yeah, and that's Toronto's schedule right there. And, it definitely feels, because, by the way, I just showed you, just keep in mind, guys, Flip Rodon and Warren, they don't have it set up yet. The Yankees reconfigured the rotation. Boone confirmed it. So, Rodon on Thursday, Fried tomorrow, which is great. So, Fried, Rodon, and then Warren on Friday. Now, is that them necessarily telling us that Warren's going to be pitching game 3 of a playoff game? No. It's just for the time being. Then, after that, you have Schlittler, and then Heel is on Sunday. But with this Toronto, as you can see here, Scherzer, like we said, not pitching well. You got Shane Bieber versus Bayo. That's a pretty big stalemate there. I don't think Boston's sweeping the series right now. I'm going to say that they probably win tomorrow. And I'm going to say that Bieber's enough to give Toronto a win in Toronto.
What's the season series with Tampa Bay and Toronto? I think that's the thing I'm most curious about, because based on what I've read and what I've seen so far this year, I know Toronto just played Tampa well of late, but over the course of the season, I'm fairly certain Tampa plays Toronto pretty strong.
Tampa always plays Toronto strong. So Toronto actually is losing the season series to Tampa Bay 5-3.
It's a factor, guys. It's a factor. And sometimes you just look across the way and go, we have more talent than this team. But guys, haven't we said that almost every year when we fly into Tampa, go play in St. Petersburg? And what do the Rays always do to us? They beat the brakes off the Yankees. They do. It's not always talent. Sometimes it's matchup. It is. So I'm curious to see it. When you're Tampa, that's fun, man. You're going to go out there. You can play spoiler on the road. Let's have some fun at the expense of this team. Tampa may help us out a little bit more than what people are expecting. Go Rays, go Red Sox until the playoffs.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, Tampa, they're going to be feisty. All you need the Blue Jays to do is they need to lose 3 more games.
Very realistic. I would say game 2 is the most realistic, the first game that you see there on your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
That game is wildly losable for Toronto.
Yeah.
They can absolutely lose game 3 against the Red Sox. Absolutely.
They can.
Bayo
I think
has
they win,
talent. I think they win that game at home. But it's losable. That first game, wildly losable. They probably lose that game. But then you get into the Tampa series. That's where you start asking, we're going to have to ask for Tampa to win that series. That's a lot. That's why so many people in our comments say, no, the Yankees need to go 5-0. They're not as confident that Tampa's going to be able to go on the road in Toronto and win that series, and I don't blame them. So, and obviously you see Gausman pitching the finale, and that should be pretty good for Toronto. So we'll see what happens. Scott Ross with the super, really appreciate the 10, says Judge needs to come through in big moments. The 2 ground into double plays against Minnesota and then the double play tonight aren't acceptable. He has 5 huge games to take the MVP. His stats are unreal, but need moments. So this is a fair assessment, but I wanted to bring up one thing, And this isn't trying to defend Aaron Judge. This is trying to be fair. Yeah. Aaron Judge, in that series against Boston, I thought that Boston series really cemented our momentum. I did. And Judge was awesome in that series. Jazz was awesome in that series. And I think a couple players deserve a little bit more credit for playing in big moments for what they did in those series. Now, again, it doesn't nullify what happens the rest of the season. We can't just be like, oh, it doesn't matter, because Scott's right. When you get into this series and you say, well, this team needs to go 4-1, they have to go 5-0. Well, 99 needs to look like the MVP right now. Not what'd you do last week or what'd you do over the course of the season. I need you now. Just the same way we're going to judge Aaron Judge in the first round of the playoffs. If he doesn't play well, people are going to go, where the hell did he go? He disappeared again. That's going to be the assessment. So no one's going to be talking about the Boston series. They're not going to be talking about what we did against Chicago or Detroit, any of those teams. Aaron Judge has to play his best baseball these next 5 games. Has to.
Aaron Judge is basically staring, I would say he's staring like the Peyton Manning moniker in the face. Because, I mean, Peyton Manning, you could argue, is the greatest regular season quarterback of all time.
He's got an argument.
But when he gets into the postseason, and I know he won. I know he won the Super Bowl. I get that. He won 2. But it's not, it wasn't the same, right?
No.
So that's the thing. Like, Judge could win a World Series and still not be Judge. And if it's enough, it's going to be okay. Like Peyton Manning. It's okay. Like, no one cares. You won 2 Super Bowls. But this is where Aaron Judge is going to have to step up. Because if Aaron Judge can be Aaron Judge in the postseason, see, we've yet to see a Yankee October roster where Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge. Giancarlo is October Giancarlo. And you have a rotation. We have yet to see that all together at the same time. And that, to me, is the exciting thing, because if Aaron Judge does step up, and you got obviously Cody Bellinger, and you got Ben Rice, and I believe Stanton is just playing like garbage in September, but I think he's just going to magically turn it on in October.
You brought up those numbers. He doesn't play well in September. And you've brought up those numbers. You put them up on screen. Giancarlo Stanton usually disappears right at this time of the year. He usually gets it going in late September, just in time. Well, we've got 5 games left in the season, so Giancarlo should be ready to turn on the switch any moment now. And it's not a guarantee. There's a reason 2 or 3 years ago people were like, hey, get this guy off the roster. Well, I'd like him to flip the switch. Hey, I know he normally plays well in October. I need to see some type of switch go off, because we need that. And if he's there, all it does is buy Aaron Judge time to get acclimated and become the best player on the field, because this team's not winning anything. I know you can go out and maybe win a pennant and beat Cleveland, you beat Kansas City, but in order to win a World Series, you're not going to be able to sneak around as a 6'7", 280-pound hopeful MVP of the league. You're not going to be able to hide to a championship on the team. We wouldn't have been able to hide Alex Rodriguez in 2009 to a World Series title. We couldn't win until he looked like A-Rod, and he finally did, and then we win, right? So that's what we're waiting for, Scott. I think it's perfectly valid for you to critique this. And Jake, this is our favorite Marlins fan, Marion, with the 2, says Marlins not eliminated yet. The 2003 World Series rematch? Hopefully not.
Yeah, hopefully not. We know how that ended.
Yes, we did.
The Marlins, I need to just make this very clear. They have a 0.1% chance of making the playoffs. The Marlins,
saying there's a chance.
They've won 7 straight. They were 70-80, and now they're 77-80, and they're 4 games out of the wild card. So I know I'm not the only one. I'll be rooting for the Marlins, for Marion, to knock the Mets out of the playoffs.
Oh, God, yes. And did you see they had Alcantara? They actually saved him for this series. Did you notice that?
Yep.
That is
Mets
absolutely
fans are so pissed about that,
fantastic. And you know what?
So
Beat
pissed.
rock. They've been talking about an arm barn at the beginning of the season. People were tweeting me left and right, tagging me in everything. Oh, Clay Holmes. Gary, what do you got to say about Clay Holmes? Talk to me at the break. And sure enough, all those people conveniently forgot They weren't worried about me. They were worried about me in May, but they don't think about me suddenly in September. So hopefully they see this. The Mets stink. They're not good. So go Marlins. Marion, appreciate you.
By the way, all 3 of those games are in Miami against the Mets. So, hey, I'd love to see some crazy history here because the Marlins can do it. It's a 0.1% chance, but if they sweep the Mets and the Mets lose the next 2, they did win today. That kind of blows it, but they lose the next 2 games in Chicago to the Cubs, which is very possible. The Marlins' chances would definitely be there. Like they need help. They're tied currently. It's a 3-way tie where they're at. The Cardinals and Giants, 4 games away.
So you have to imagine the Marlins they'd play Milwaukee if it came to that.
Oh yeah, they'd get lasered, but they would get what was it? The Death Star? That would happen. Their whole planet would blow up. But you know what? We're okay with it.
Anything's possible. Milwaukee lost today. Marion would be very happy. So Marion, we wish your Marlins the best of luck. We don't hope it's an 0-3 rematch just for the simple fact of how it ended. But I'd have to imagine if the Marlins played us in the World Series, if we lost that, I would probably just go to YouTube and just drag my name over to I'd click profile and I'd scroll down to delete YouTube page and I would just delete, be gone. You guys would never hear from me again if we lost to the Marlins in the postseason. And Jose G Insight with the 2. Thank you for that, Jose. We really appreciate that. It says, I've been saying it, Yankees win the division and World Series 29-14, L43. What's happening?
World Series 29-14.
I just look at that and I think 29-14 Placido Polanco and
no, that's the
Loizaga, number 43.
Is that win division and World Series 29-14? Does he mean 28?
So Jose's saying the last 43 games. 29-14 in the last 43.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't even close. You could have given me an hour. The next hour of the pod to try and figure out what that was. No idea. But Jose, it goes to show you the Yankees are playing their best baseball right now.
Really good sign, by the way, when you have, and I've already brought this up, but they don't win this game tonight without Volpe and Austin Wells. The guys at the bottom of the order. When you have those guys hitting, you got Jazz going 3 for 3, looking like, honestly, 70% Jazz again. These are things that, when they're happening on September 24th, you have to start and wonder if maybe they're going to be ready for October. And if these guys are ready for October and Ben Rice is ready and all these guys are, I don't know how you beat the Yankees. Like, truthfully, if all of these guys are ready to go in October, and the reason I'm saying that is because we know that's not going to be the case.
Of course not.
It's just, that's not, it would be nice, right? It's not going to be the case.
Nope.
Somebody that you don't expect is going to slump in October. It happens every year. But when push comes to shove, when they need a hit, when they need to come through, are they going to come through? This team has guys that can do it, and this team has a lot of talent. It's why I think they're much better than last year. I've said it. I maintain that. And by the way, if they win the next 5 games, they're going to have a better record than last year to win the division.
Which is insane. By the way, Josh, I will throw you up on the screen here in just a second. We really appreciate the super. Now I have an excruciating question. Excruciating.
Oh, boy.
I mentioned Anthony Volpe earlier this episode. I don't want to gloss over him. Now, again, I don't ask this question because I'm rooting for this outcome. I think that'd be ridiculous. It's not my take. It's genuinely a question. Anthony Volpe, since the cortisone shot, has been good. He's been good defensively. He's been good offensively. He's been running the bases well. Now, again, he's not playing every day. He'll play a game. He'll sit. He'll come back out. He'll play 2 games in a row. He'll sit, and he'll come back out. That's been his role. Now, the question. Given how Volpe's playing after the cortisone shot, perceivably he's more healthy now than he was over the course of the season. Would you consider Anthony Volpe a shortstop in 2026, given what he's doing perceivably more healthy? Just a question.
Because I'm going to have to see what that arbitration looks like. I mean, for a lot of money, if this goes to 8 to 10 million, no. But, I mean, if he's cheaper or on the cheaper side, then yeah, I think he's probably back as the shortstop. I do.
Do you see the havoc I just put into our comment
Everyone
section?
Could tell,
I knew
and
it.
I didn't know. It's
he
like,
is hurt still, but the cortisone shot allows you to play through it. But everyone knows what a cortisone shot does. It allows you to play through an injury that before you couldn't, just raw dogging it. And so now that he's got this cortisone shot, he's playing better baseball. He's still, based on what I heard from Cashman and what people have been saying, if I'm just reading between the lines, it seems a lot like Volpe is going to need some type of procedure, whether it's minor or major. I'm not sure. I'm not a doctor, clearly. I'm a podcaster.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like he's going to need a procedure. Then they're going to tell us, oh, but with the procedure, he'll be ready to go by spring training. We're going to get a healthy Anthony Volpe, and that healthy Volpe looked like what you saw after the cortisone shot for the most part. So I guess the question is, if he ends up getting $4 or $5 million, which is not a lot of money for a starting shortstop, I wonder if the Yankees, who 3 months ago, a lot of people said there's no way he comes back. If the Yankees look at this run that he's going on here in the short term and they're like, oh, there he is, and they almost just reassure themselves and make the wrong decision again. I'm curious.
I'm going to make an interesting argument as to why I would keep Anthony Volpe.
Okay.
Anthony Volpe, right, doesn't have to be any better than he currently is right? Right now. What you saw tonight, if he is that, he doesn't have to be any better than that. Here's the thing. He's not the shortstop of the future. I believe that's George Lombard Jr. So Anthony Volpe can keep that seat warm, and then it allows you to not make the same mistake you did with Anthony Volpe and call him up too early and just absolutely crush George Lombard Jr., development-wise. So while he gets a chance to actually go through AAA and develop, Anthony Volpe you're getting at a decent price, like you mentioned. And worst comes to worst on both sides. George Lombard Jr. doesn't work out, right? You can go and you can find out whatever you're going to do. Like, Caballero is under control for 4 years, right? So you have him, and you have Anthony Volpe. But let's talk about the other thing. What if Volpe's actually really good? Well, guess what? Now, you make the decision. You're like, look, do I really want to trade this player that I already know can play in the MLB? I've already seen that he can play in the MLB, and now he's playing well in the MLB. Or do I really get rid of him to have the 22-year-old come up and 21-year-old come up, and he's never played in the major leagues before? That's the thing, is you're really, at that point, you decide you can trade one or the other. And Volpe's contract will be heavily affordable to be traded. Like, teams will go after him. He will be available at the deadline if he has even an okay season. Now, here's the deal, Gary. I would do this. I would not commit to Anthony Volpe. I would sign him, like, do the whole arbitration thing, pay him. I think it's going to be about $5 million. He's your starter. I am not committing to any plan. Okay, I'm going to let everything happen the way it's supposed to. If I see George Lombard Jr., who has hit better over the later on in the year this year, if I see him start to emerge, I'm not wasting time. I'm going to give him his run. If Anthony Volpe is playing well, that's different. But if Anthony Volpe is playing like he is right now, that's not enough for me to not give George Lombard Jr. a shot when I believe he's ready. And
then if he's in an opportunity where George Lombard Jr. is not playing well, Anthony Volpe's not playing well, which is entirely possible. There's no guarantee anyone plays well.
Yeah.
Well, then the Yankees need to have enough, really the huevos, to say the option we have right now on the field isn't working. The option that we were, I hate when people say hyping up, the option we were hopeful for out of our system in George Lombard Jr., if it wasn't working, they have to be able to say, hey, this isn't working. I understand he's 21 years old, but he's not playing well in AAA, AA, whatever level they have him at next year. Then you need to be able to make an accurate assessment. Don't just commit to the marriage without seeing the results. The Yankees did that with Anthony Volpe. They brought him here and they were like, this is it. And we're like, oh, okay, well, where are the numbers to back this up? Well, he's not Bobby Witt Jr., so I don't know what you expected. What? Now all of a sudden our expectations are too high for this player. Just don't commit to anybody. Don't. Make them win the job. And if no one takes the job, then you need to be looking into the offseason and say, hey, Bo Bichette, hey, any other shortstop that's in free agency, we need to start looking elsewhere to bring talent at the position. But we'll get there when we get there. That'll be this offseason. I was just curious. Yeah, I was just curious what everyone thought about Volpe because he's playing good baseball right now. He's accepting of his role, and this is sort of what we needed. We need a big hit. We don't need homers. I don't need Volpe to hit another ball in the seats the rest of the year. I need you to get to first base and wait for the other dudes who are paid a lot more money to do what they've been doing all year so that you can score, go field your position. So props to Volpe for playing good ball. Doesn't mean he has to be here next year or the year after that, but wanted to tip my cap.
No, I agree, and I think this is also the effect of having Jose Caballero because you don't have to make a crazy decision either way, one way or another. I think the Yankees have set themselves up to be in a really good position to make the right decision on George Lombard Jr. That is the most important thing for me at shortstop. He's clearly, based on the glove we've seen, it's a lot different when you get to the major leagues, but based on the glove that you have seen in the minors, he clearly is the best defensive option if that translates. That's also an if, right? Because the mental aspect, we can't know for sure how he's going to translate. But if he does translate, he's got the arm, he's got the range, right? He's got the confidence, he's got the leadership to play shortstop in New York. So that's really what I'm getting at there is I like that they have them both right now because I'm all about making sure this doesn't happen again. Even if Volpe ends up being something, right? Let's just say Volpe ends up being a star, right? It doesn't mean that they didn't clearly mess up his progression from the start. He might have figured it out down the road. I mean, good example in the NFL, Geno Smith. You want to tell me the Jets throwing him in the fire with no offensive line and the New York media
That's a great comparison.
Him, right? Geno Smith, you don't want to be the team that let him go and then he goes and he tears it up.
Baker Mayfield.
People
look at Baker Mayfield, and when he was first into the NFL, they're like, oh, well, I guess it was the wrong decision to put him out there on the field. Or I guess he's just not the player. No, the wrong decision was the timing. Mm-hmm. The whole build-up process, the fact that you have no offensive line, the fact that you have no weapons. It's the context of the situation. Anthony Volpe may have been a mainstay solution for the Yankees, but what we've always argued all along was that the process seemed a little rushed, a little overzealous, and that's the unfortunate part. And Alex says, new one just dropped, Daniel Jones. I saw that Saquon Barkley was like, oh, I always knew Daniel Jones was this. And it's like, okay, it goes to show you that a lot of these players are like, hey, the asset is not the problem. It's how the asset's being utilized is the problem. And I think the NFL probably brings that out more than baseball.
I agree.
But, I mean, I would definitely say baseball is more of an individualized sport. Players individually take a ton of blame. We don't look at the hitting coach. We don't look at, but in football, they talk about the coordinators, the play calling, yada, yada, all of it. So, yeah. Josh, I like promise, want to throw you back up on the screen. I know you said you're going to watch the show afterwards. Josh with the 5, thank you for that. Says, I was at the game. There were a lot of people, Jake, who tweeted me today and were like, I was at this game. I was like, interesting.
I think they wanted to tell me. I really wanted to see the White Sox. No, I'm messing with you.
Yeah, I think that what they were trying to tell me is that they stayed, which is good.
Yes.
Josh says, I was at the game, just dropping in. I will have to watch you guys when you're done recording. What a great game to be at. Here's your super go Yanks. Josh, thank you again. Really appreciate that. And Matthew, really appreciate the 20. Don't see orange every day, but Matthew, thanks for that, man. And says, just saw a stat. We love when people bring stats to these supers. Says Judge has the most strikes called that are low out of the zone with 368 since 2017. Imagine him with the ABS system. So, guys, we saw the news that the ABS system's coming to Major League Baseball. I want to refresh your memory. The automated balls and strikes is not what they make it sound like. It's not full-time automated balls and strike. It's a challenge system, and you get 2 challenges, and if you're successful, you get it back and so on. It's not going to change the game as much as you guys think it will. Will it be somewhat effective in the moment? Yeah, it will. And will Aaron Judge benefit from it on balls that are low? Yeah, he's 6'7", 280 pounds. Every pitch to him is low. They want to keep the ball pretty much on the ground, and sometimes they get the call. It's unfortunate. But if this was a full automated strike zone, then I think we would have a different scenario on our hands, and Aaron Judge just would never get out in the regular season. But yeah. What did you think about the automated balls and strikes? Because what's your takeaway on this?
I absolutely hate it. So Rob Manfred has detected, because the first step to solving any problem is recognizing there is a problem.
Yes. So
you recognize that your umpires are the problem behind the plate, because obviously this doesn't happen if your home plate umpires aren't dog shit, right? Let's not sit around and sing Kumbaya, okay? Like, we know why this is being introduced. There's an issue with the home plate umpires. So, and they've gotten progressively worse over the years. So with that said, if they're this bad, I don't understand why we're doing the whole challenge and we're actually putting only 2 challenges. Gary, how many outs are there? 27? You get 2 challenges? 2?
Oh, and did you see there was a part of the rule where they can't consult anybody in the dugout at all. So you can't be sitting. You know how when Aaron Boone will see a bang play to first base, and then Boone goes, "Oh, that looked really close," and Boone turns around to his assistant and be like, "Hey, he's waiting on somebody from the clubhouse who saw it, or their system who sees it in their angle, which is the angle that baseball allows them to have. They now feed it, hey, this would be a challenge. You need to make that call to make this challenge." Boone doesn't just sit there on the fly and just make the decision. Somebody tells him, yes, it's worth it. Now he makes that decision. Automated balls and strikes, they want it to be faster. You don't get that. So if Jazz Chisholm decides, oh, that ball's inside, he can just tap his helmet. Challenge number 1 is gone. It's gone.
I swear to God, if Jazz takes Aaron... Because, all right, this is another reason why it's stupid. So it's 2 times. That's 2 pitches, Gary. That's 2 pitches. Think about that.
It has almost no impact whatsoever. And like I've told people, if it's going to be 2 challenges the whole game for my team, I'm telling my team, Aaron Judge can use it. Giancarlo Stanton can use it. Right? Cody Bellinger can use it. And you guys can use it innings 7 through 9, and the situation is going to dictate that. I'm not challenging a call that struck Aaron Judge out in the 3rd inning. I'm not.
No.
I'm simply
not. You're
not.
going to sit on them, and we're going to... I mean, it's stupid. I guess it's a strategy thing.
Brilliant.
But I think it's just so dumb, right? And again, the first step to solving a problem is recognizing there is one. There is a problem. So how do you combat it? Well, guess what? How long have we had the K-zone technology? For years.
It's been a while.
So I don't understand, Gary, correct me if I'm wrong. You put together an entire television production with the score bug, and you get all the audio going, you got all the cameras, different angles, everything, right? And while you have all of that, you also put together a graphic that is so dynamic that on the fly it can tell you how fast a pitch is moving, what pitch it is, and where it's located in real time. But the actual league doesn't have that technology yet.
Well, they tell us that the technology is not advanced enough to fully call the game, but somehow, some way, that exact same technology that they clown is sound enough where in a situation where someone challenges a call next year, they just say, oh yeah, it'll be accurate. Well, why do you trust it in that one call, but you won't trust it on every call? I want to see a home plate umpire. You make all the judgment calls. Bang, bang play at first base. Keep the flow of the game going. If the ball's in the strike zone, I just want the umpire's pant leg to just vibrate and they go, that was a strike. That's what I want. And I get it. I'm one of the more old school fans of the game. I just am. But I'm tired of watching umpires have any really impact on the game. Bad umpires. Umpires with an attitude that can throw out a Giancarlo Stanton. That can throw. I mean, we watched DJ LeMahieu get thrown out of a game last year. He didn't say not one word to a guy. Ejected. Just gone. Ceased to exist. He couldn't make an impact the rest of the game. Now, thankfully, it was just DJ LeMahieu. But what if that was one of our better players? You just have the authority to just ruin the game. What we're telling you is we want a little bit less control from the umpires and a little bit more control to the players. And the automated balls and strikes is such a marginal shift towards the players that it's laughable. But at least, Jake, we're 1 year closer to getting where we're supposed to be going. But Matthew, again, really appreciate the super. Guys, you guys have been incredible tonight. Thank you for the super, Matthew. And again, guys, if you're new here to Yankees Unloaded, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and the like button. Liking is a great way to support the channel. And Jersey Flow with the 2 says Cabby over McMahon at third for the playoffs. And to which I say absolutely not, just because I think the glove is that valuable. I do.
Yeah.
Now, Caballero is also, in theory, helping Volpe become a better player by being a part-time player and not an everyday guy, especially playing with the shoulder issue that he's clearly playing with. So if Cabby's got a hot bat going, then I just play Cabby at shortstop. If Cabby has a bad game or a bad 2 games, Volpe's shown in this role I can play. Not in a starter's role, but in an every other day role with Cabby. McMahon's shown I'm a dynamic glove, and we're going to need his defense in October. I promise you guys it'll make an impact. Now, will 4 for 40 suffice? No. We need something offensively, and that's got to change real quick. Certainly Jersey Flow, Jake, I would assume, has had enough of watching the 4 for 40, but I'll let it slide in the meantime with the need for it to change. I need that glove out there.
I agree. And Caballero has a good glove, but, I mean, McMahon is one of the best. And I do think that, you know, I forget who we had on because we had 3 people on. I forget which one said it during the deadline. He said the Yankees view McMahon as he has a better glove than
Hayes. That's right.
I disagree, but I understand where they're coming from. I mean, it's gotten really good. I think he's been a better defender on the Yankees, if I'm being honest with you. I think the numbers would suggest that. So, yeah, I get it. I mean, when you're talking the way we've been talking, right, like how these games are going to be 2-1, 3-2, defense is just as important as hitting at that point, you know, and I do think it's going to be tough, but yeah, Caballero and Volpe are going to rotate, and McMahon is probably going to play every single day in the playoffs, and that's just because the glove is that important. It just, if you think it's important now, October, it just shoots it up way more.
And they won't hesitate to take McMahon off the field late in the game.
Yeah.
If his bat's coming around in the rotation here, in our batting order, there's a man on 3rd and 2nd with less than 2 outs, and you're like, hey, the Yankees are down 2-1. This is a must-have at bat.
That's why tonight was such a big deal, because you saw it. Boone let us know in the 6th inning, yeah, McMahon's bat isn't, you know, acceptable right now, so we're going to bring in Rosario.
It was the right decision.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it was a great decision. So it goes to show you, they see him as a premier defender that right now can't be trusted offensively, but sometimes a guy you can't trust offensively is still the right guy for the job as a starter that you just kind of have to wait out. He's not going to do absolutely nothing offensively. But if you're going to do hardly anything offensively, you better be prime Nolan Arenado over there at 3rd. And so far, he's been great. He has. We need to see some bat. But, Jake, let's tee up tomorrow's game, and then let's get to our voicemails.
Yeah. So tomorrow, the Yankees have Fried on the mound against Undecided. So I don't know how good Undecided is. Haven't watched him, to be fair. But I can tell you Max Fried's really good, and Max Fried said something that should have scared the shit out of everybody in the league when he said he feels like he's back to where he was. And
it's a great sign.
It is, because what he's been through, I mean, he had two, I don't know if people are aware of this, Gary, so I'm going to remind everybody. July
I have
and
it.
August.
Fraser Ellard.
He had an ERA over 5, 2 months in a row.
Yep.
His ERA this month in September, 2.05. He's back.
Is that good?
He's ready to go. So he's been really good, and he's been consistent against some good teams. I mean, Houston, Toronto, Boston. Yeah, you could say what you will about Baltimore and now the White Sox, but when you had to have it, the Yankees are 4-0 with Max Fried his last 4 starts. They're actually 5-0 with Max Fried in his last 5 starts. The last loss that they had with Max Fried goes back to August 22nd. They lost 1-0 to Garrett Crochet. So
it's a hell of a game.
Exactly. So he's been very good, and yeah, you have to feel good anytime you see Max Fried on the mound. Anytime you see that 54, you have to feel really good about what you're going to get.
Yeah, Fraser Ellard. Left-hander. He's thrown 16 innings. He's struck out 20. His whip is 1.5, guys. He's thrown 16 innings for a reason. 27-year-old southpaw. The Yankees rip lefties. It's no guarantee. But as far as matchups go, this is ideal for the Yankees. It is. You've got your ace going against a guy that I promise you 99% of the room has never heard of never heard of him. I've never heard of him. And that's with all due respect to his parents. So the Yankees have to look at this as if you go take care of business tomorrow, there's 4 more games against bad baseball teams, and Toronto's in trouble if we can go ahead and do that. So let's start that tomorrow. I honestly, not even really concerned with how Max Fried throws. Not. He just has to be serviceable enough in that moment. The Yankees offense has to take care of business. No screwing around the way you saw today. I know we got the last laugh. That's awesome. The Yankees have to show up and beat the brakes off people. Home runs are not bad. You hit home runs on mistake pitches. Ellard will throw mistake pitches, do damage, do it early. Get this game done so we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to worry about burning Bednar, burning these guys. Because, guys, you may be looking at the end of this, end of the season and say, oh, well, we just played Baltimore. We want to be able to use Bednar as often as we can. We want to find a way to get him as fresh as possible to be utilized in that series anytime we need him. We don't want to burn him in this Chicago series right now when you face a favorable matchup. So let's go take care of business. Go beat the brakes off this dude.
Yeah, and as Drew is saying, and then we'll get into voicemails here, it's spot on. Jay's got the lead by beating those same bad teams. They played the same schedule. Yeah, absolutely. And you see this all the time. It's funny. It's actually happening right now. The NFL season starts, and you have a team that, they're 3-0. They're 2-1. Yeah, look who they've played, right? So eventually that flips. Well, the Yankees right now, it's flipping, and the Yankees had the easier schedule to end the season. And this is partially why. This is a huge reason as to why that I was saying that the Jays could lose momentum, because they had a tougher schedule. And I'll tell you right now, is Tampa a playoff team? No. But is Tampa the team that you want to face when you have to lock up the division? Also no. As a matter of fact, hardcore no. You don't think Kevin Cash wants to have his guys go out there and play spoiler? He's not a Yankee fan.
They're probably pissed off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're pissed. You kidding me? End of the season? End it on a high note.
They should be in a good mood, though. I mean, they got to play their baseball games in Tampa instead of St. Petersburg, Florida, so much better.
Speaking of which, I saw that video come across my feed. I had to share it.
Which video?
Aaron Judge hitting a home run into the trees, which was right inside of the foul pole. Like, not even close, really. And it's not a home run. He should have had 50.
Yep, ridiculous.
So, anyway, we move, quite literally. Guy was beat out today by Ninja Hot Dog, who comes in with a 3:30 p.m. super chat.
Let it fly, Ninja.
Today is an amazing day for the MLB. Today, all baseball fans should rejoice and enjoy this day, because The MLB has finally approved ABS for 2026 per The Athletic. So I'm very, very excited. The robot umps are finally here, at least to some extent. And I am excited for a season where the umps do not ruin the game by making all the messed up calls they can, because let's face it, they knew it was coming. And I would argue this is one of the worst years we've had in terms of umpiring. And it's been a really huge problem, but finally the pain is over, and ABS will be here next year, and we shall all enjoy a year, hopefully more, probably more, a fair, good baseball. Fire Baboon, fire all the umps.
Love that. Yeah, well, we're 2 less pitches from the umpires ruining the game. You're going to see on both sides probably 4 or 5 pitches that actually have any impact. That is of the probably 250 pitches you see throughout the day. So, is it progress? Yeah. Yeah.
No, I feel like being a complainer and negative Nancy over here. I'm ticked.
I agree with you. It's not nearly enough momentum the direction we need to go.
You know what this is like?
It's one step. It's one step.
This is
What's
like
up?
when a company like screws over their consumer base, and everyone's what are they going to give us? What are they going to give us? And they're like, you get a 10% off voucher, and it's like yeah.
I thought you were
going to
say a pizza party.
No,
Anytime your boss just completely just screwed you over, bent you over the barrel, they just send you a what do they send you? Pizza Hut, Papa John's. They send you a pepperoni slice,
yeah. But
and they're like, "Oh, can you believe this? My boss sent me pizza." I'm like, "Your boss hates you."
I don't know what boss you had. I got some nice stuff.
I had some tough bosses. When you work valet, yeah, it's never good.
And I got I was drinking at the time. I got a really expensive bottle of wine.
Wow.
So, yeah.
A nice little $15 investment right there.
Yeah, right?
Hell yeah.
So,
I love that.
No, it's funny because I just, is it good? Is it better? Is it an improvement? Yes. But when you're, and obviously you and I knew, we kind of figured out middle of the season, okay, this is a scam. They're rug pulling us hardcore. And let's be honest here. Manfred knew this. That's why he let it get out that, there's going to be robo umpires. And then you get all excited and he's like, but we're not there yet. So have this. And now I'm supposed to be here and be like, oh, thank you so much, Dad. I appreciate that. Like, so I'm not going to do that. But is it better in theory? Yes. I just think that they already have the technology on TV, which is way more difficult. And the fact they can't just put it on the big board, put it on the score, the Jumbotron. I can't even say words, but Jumbotron, whatever. I don't know why they can't just put it on the scoreboard. I mean, imagine that, right? Real quick, and we'll get to guys' super chat. Imagine Aaron Judge is at the plate, right? You don't even need an umpire to be doing the whole strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. It just shows up on the scoreboard. So he can see on the giant Yankee Stadium scoreboard, okay.
I still want the umpire standing back there just for the theater of it. I want him to stand back there and just play pretend. Just WWE it. We vibrate your leg. You now know it's confirmed this pitch was a strike. Yeah, strike. Just so that when you're watching on TV, you know what happened. That's all.
I don't need the old guys to have to look at a Jumbotron and be like, I can't tell if it's a strike on the screen.
And we have to wait for Yes Network to pan over to the screen, and they're like, there it was. And they're going to make it like tennis. They're going to show the ball and then the little dot on the strike zone.
Oh, my God.
We don't need that. But I like the theater. I like watching the umpires. Like guy gets hosed at third base and you get to make the out call. That's really cool. I like that. I just want to see, Drew, maybe we'll have Grok call the game.
They should have the TrackMan technology.
We've got a lot of tech.
There's so much out there. There's no excuse. Anyway.
Yeah. Let it fly, guy.
On and on and on.
Well, I assume we won this game. Massive favorites are the Yankees tonight.
Barely.
So the Yankees with a day off, Except for the last game in Minnesota, they have a very good record coming off a day's rest. This year, they are 13-7 going into tonight, with Chicago only being 1-8 in its last 9 games since September 12th. The Yankees' expectations should be no less than a sweep. Shane Smith's having a good rookie season. He's a good pitcher. He has a high strikeout type pitcher. Although he lost his last start against the Orioles, he's been pretty good. 3-1 with a 3.66 ERA in his last 7 games. So, Heel, of course, we want to see him progress again tonight, but Cam has to be the front runner with almost unhittable stuff at times. Gil, for me, too high of a whip, too many walks. It really stands out when you're looking for reliability as a number 3. Well, will the Yankees just use his last game against the Sox? Should we be playing them in Game 3 as the barometer? Backup could be Cam for that day. Maybe just one game. We'll have to see how they work things out. Again, the Yankees massive favorites tonight. I think the game, with my record being 12-3 on over and unders, I'm picking the under 9 runs tonight, going under 9 runs.
Nailed it.
Well, that game didn't go, I can almost guarantee, didn't go how I thought it would go. Guy didn't predict this.
No.
You didn't predict this. The Yankees came out, their offense wasn't there. It wasn't.
I had
11 hits.
9-2.
Yeah, we just, I wanted to pull up the stat real quick. I mean, yeah, 3 for 9 with runners in scoring position. That's not terrible. So I guess that's the takeaway. We left 11 guys on base. I don't want to cherry pick stats and make it seem horrible. But when we got in scoring position, we hit over 300. We have to have that. Have to. That's how you win these games, even if it's an ugly game that, as you mentioned, Jake, we'll totally forget about it. Go Yanks.
Yeah, completely agree. Guy, we appreciate you. Now, Mark.
Hey guys, it's Mark. I normally don't do this, but I just have such a strong hunch today. I don't know why.
Oh, this is a pregame.
I'm gonna pull a guy here, and I'm gonna give a prediction.
Love that.
Not a full description like he did, but I have a strong feeling that both Giancarlo and Volpe are going to go deep today. I don't know why, but I've just been having that feeling for like half the day today. So that is my prediction. It'll be Yankees scoring a lot of runs. You might throw Wells in that mix too, but that's not a for sure. But I know I feel like Volpe and Giancarlo, either one of them will hit a home run today. And I think Wells will be in there as well. I think Wells is looking to hit something up there and get a good hit on the cork. We'll see. I don't know. Anyway, I just got back from work, and I hope you guys have a great show. See you.
Appreciate it. Well, first and foremost, Volpe had a solid day. Wells had a solid day. I mean, you go 4 for 8 between the two of those guys. Now, Giancarlo did go deep. He just went deeper into his slump, so obviously he didn't clarify there. But those two contributing in the 8 and 9 spot in your lineup, the Yankees are going to win these games. If you're getting that type of production from the bottom guys in the lineup, we're going to get a better day than 0 for 4 from Cody Bellinger. We're going to get a better day than 0 for 2 from Aaron Judge with 3 walks. We just are. Trent Grisham did nothing today. Nothing. So if you get that type of production, I think the Yankees are going to be fine. So I didn't mind that prediction at all.
No, I didn't mind it at all, and I like that. You were on the money there with Volpe and Wells and Garrett. We kind of look at it a little different. You're not going to get home runs all the time, right? But if you're saying that they're going to hit a home run, then you're saying they're going to be an impact player.
Yep.
And the Yankees don't win today without Austin Wells or Anthony Volpe.
That's right.
All right, Kyle Malay.
Let it fly,
guys.
Kyle.
I am out of breath right now. I just basically ran around my house, or my apartment, screaming, and I hope I didn't wake up my daughter. Jesus
His phone's
Christ.
going to buzz any minute
That
now.
was a good win by the Yankees. They waited till the last second to win, but hey, a win's a win. Boston won, so they're doing their job for us. And we're 1 out of the division. Technically 2, because we got to get in front of the Blue Jays, but oh my God.
There it is.
There it is.
Oof. I'm sorry, guys. Like, I'm out of breath. Like, I don't even know what to say right now. But the Yankees are gonna go win this division. They're gonna have their first round bye, and yeah, we're gonna go to the World Series, and we're gonna win the freaking World Series this year. All right, guys. You have a really good show. It was about to be a funeral because the Yankees were dead in the water until that Volpe scored on that fast ball on their base on balls through Bellinger. But oh my God, like I might not have a voice tomorrow, but you guys have a great show. Have a good night. Go Yankees. Thank you, Cabby.
Yes. Oh, that'll be we'll put that in the chat. Thank you, Cabby.
Yep, that's going to be, that makes a lot of sense. And yeah, guys, just to Welkin and completely agree, says that he'll take 2 walks from Grisham. Yeah, 0 for 3 with 2 walks. I mean, you pay a lot of money to, hell, part of the reason they say Juan Soto is a generational talent is because he walks a ton. So and it's difficult to walk. Otherwise, everyone would do it. So yeah, Grisham did get on base twice. We'll give him his credit.
Is that
Drew
not
Thorpe
AI
says,
in a nutshell?
Grok said, it is unlikely the Yankees will play tomorrow, September 26, 2025, as they have already clinched a playoff spot. Yeah, I've kind of figured that out about AI, is that if you ask them to look up anything, they pretty much can just lie to you, and you're just not going to look it up and prove them wrong. And then there's also nothing, they're not going to get in trouble if they make it up anyway. You're just going to assume they're like a calculator. So, yeah, AI sucks right now, but it'll get a lot better, unfortunately. And then people will be watching AI Yankees Unloaded. It'll just be 2 electronic jabronis using our word choice. I mean, they'll be able to figure it out. They're like, Gary uses these same 6 words when he's talking. Jake uses these 9 words when he's talking. They'll be able to do an AI show, and I guess we'll see if people want that.
Yeah. I saw AI Gary was in the chat. And
I saw it. Yep.
It's so stupid.
It'd be easy to replace me with AI. I don't go anywhere. I pretty much watch Yankees baseball, go out to Chili's, get some queso dip, take my ass home, go to watch Better Call Saul, and go to bed.
And you bowl.
And I bowl. They can replace me with AI tomorrow if they wanted to.
So funny. And you don't say pedigree anymore, but I bet you AI Gary would say pedigree a lot.
Yeah, which is wildly outdated. Now you say it.
Yeah, I don't say it that often.
No, you say what is it? Fantastic? No.
Sensational?
Sensational. I used to use that word all the time. See, I just use words seasonally.
Now you have me saying that. Yeah.
Yes, I would probably say I use a word. I just beat the brain. It's like a good song in your phone.
Oh, yeah.
I play the same song just like I use a word. I'll use the same word for 2 seasons. That word is gone. You'll never hear it from me again. Like pedigree is gone. Way out of my vocabulary. So, and also there's no real reason to use it for me right now. But do we have any other voicemails? I think I see a long one.
Yeah, Ed, that is a long one. Yeah, you know what's so funny? The whole pedigree thing.
What's up?
It's like we're a TV show technically, so we're in season 2. Yeah, they killed pedigree off in season 1.
Right, exactly. And Alex is gonna have to make AI Gary eating Five Guys. That reality is way overpriced. LOL. Yeah, I haven't had Five Guys in a while.
It'll be holographic Five Guys with AI Gary.
Whatever will make it more affordable.
All right, Ed.
Hey guys, Ed W here. Super excited and grateful to have a win under those circumstances. Caballero seems to be the one guy who actually does hit with runners in scoring position and without knocking the ball out of the park, or without having to knock the ball out of the park. But I think, I don't know how you guys feel, more things concern me about that game than made me happy about that game. First of all, Aaron Judge looks like trash. It looks like the Aaron Judge we had last October. He's off, not hitting in the clutch. He seems like pretty useless at the plate, and he's looking like Mr. May. I know, Gary, before you said that he's got this great batting average in September. I'd really love to know what he looks like in higher leverage situations rather than in meaningless at-bats.
you could tell me. I'd like to know.
It's fair.
And Sherman on his podcast has been made the point that we all have been making, which is that when the Yankees played the Orioles and they were faced with decent pitching, they got rocked. They look like they did today against the White Sox pitching. I mean, this is a 3-2 win in 9 innings against the White Sox. Now, I'll celebrate if the puck goes in off my ass, like I said before, but this is, I don't know if I'd be pumping champagne for clinching a third wild card spot right now after beating the White Sox the way they beat them. So I'm curious to know what you guys think about today's game and how you felt and some of the things that I mentioned. And, of course, as always, I know it's going to be a great show. Night, guys.
First and foremost, thank you for the voicemail. And I think it's a valid question because when I mentioned the stats are the stats, but there's not really any context behind it. Now, I don't have the numbers in front of me, high leverage, low leverage, all that, and we'll go get that, no question. But, Jake, I'm going to say this. I've mentioned the Boston series, and I felt like at that time the whole series was considered high leverage. We've got to win these games. They were must win. They were momentum-shifting games. But having said that, you need to be great the whole rest of the way in all these games. These are the most important games of the year. And Aaron Judge, you don't have to get a hit every at-bat. I think it's unrealistic expectation. But you should be the biggest threat in our lineup all the time. And right now, he's not. He doesn't come up to the plate and feel like he's the biggest threat. It feels like Ben Rice is our biggest threat, right? And that's not what you want to see. So I am a little worried about Judge and how he looks because I can't just make the prediction that Judge is just simply going to turn it on in October against the game's best pitching in high leverage when so far, even in September where he's played really well, I can't think of any clutch hits that we had to have that where he came through or multiple. He's not there, but it's much better than what we're used to in these situations. So, Jake, I don't know how you feel about it. I'm in wait and see mode where, hey, maybe he turns it on and then we can start clapping for that. But nothing so far has shown us that when we walk into these series with Chicago or we walk into that Baltimore series in the finale of the year, that he's going to be our best player now. That's my worry, I guess, if you can call it that. It's more of a question mark for me.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. First off, Caballero is hitting, he has an 894 OPS in the month of September. He's hitting 297 with a 381 on base, a 514 slugging. So he's been great. And yes, hitting with runners in scoring position as well. As far as Judge, and I understand, I totally get what Ed is saying. I don't think he's looked like trash. I've actually started to see him kind of ramp it up. I do think those situations for sure are a bit of a concern, but it's one of those things where you just can't, even when you try, you can't emulate October in September, no matter what the game is. It just doesn't matter. And we've seen that Anthony Volpe showed no signs of being able to have the World Series that he had. No. Nothing. And then all of a sudden, he's ready to go. He hit 286. And you're like, huh, interesting.
Stan's the same way. Giancarlo Stan, you mentioned September stats. Well, what if Aaron Judge hit 400 in September? I would assume Ed's point would be, hey, Judge has been awesome. Now the monkey's off his back. Well, no, that's actually still not true. Really what we're getting at is no matter what he does, the rest of the regular season, it won't be enough because it doesn't equal doing it in October. So, guys, he could be carried the rest of this regular season, but if he looks like Hideki Matsui in 09 for our postseason run, is anyone going to carry it and hit in this series or the next one? No, of course not. So it's just a wait-and-see situation. There's no way for us to predict what he'll do because only he can tell us how he's feeling, what his confidence level is at. We don't know why he's not performing in October. He just hasn't. And we just have to hope it looks like A-Rod. Will it? Not easy to do. We'll see.
I think the biggest thing is obviously, you have free will, so you can do what you will. But for me, there's no sense in trying to make any sense of it. Let's let him figure it out in October. and then we'll be the judge. And we'll be the judge, trust me. No pun intended. We will be here, and we will be very critical if he struggles. This is not one of those happy-go-lucky shows that we're just going to, side with everybody and just, worship the logo.
We're also going to be the loudest podcast if it goes well.
We will.
That's part of it. That's just part of it. We don't use this platform to make Aaron Judge look bad. No, we'll spend hours talking about what's going good. But I think Aaron Judge knows that if he shows up and doesn't play well, to Ed's concern here, if he doesn't play well in October, people aren't going to care you hit those homers in the Boston series. They just won't, and he knows that.
No.
So let's get there. Give him more than a game or two in October as well. But obviously, if you get eliminated in the wild card and he doesn't perform, then you can criticize him. But having said that, we go into the division series and you came out of a wild card, we should be able to conclude, Aaron Judge is looking like Aaron Judge. And then let's make us lose for the other reasons. If he's part of the problem, part of the reason the ship lets in the water and we sink, well, then Aaron Judge needs to be, I shouldn't say high alert, but you get what I'm saying is you can now start to conclude that Aaron Judge is just not a big game player. But we hope that narrative is just wiped away. We're waiting on it.
Yeah, no, 100%. And then that last part of what Ed said, I'm not too crazy about seeing when they struggle against those pitchers, but think about it. Isn't that kind of what you just come to expect against the best pitchers in baseball? Who hits Paul Skeens, right? Who hits Garrett Crochet? Like, I didn't love seeing it against Shane Smith. I didn't love seeing it against Kyle Bradish, but when a pitcher is on, more often than not, that pitcher is going to have a field day, right? And so I think that's kind of the misconception about baseball is that sometimes you're just beat. Sometimes you can have, the best hitters at the dish and the pitcher is just on another level. I mean, we see it when guys just come out, and it's a reminder that the reason why they're in the major leagues is because they can do that. The reason why they're not one of the best in the league is because they can't do that consistently. That's the difference.
Yeah, I think people are probably trying to get at is that we need a little bit more consistency against some of the game's best pitching. And it seems like the Yankees really beat up on bad pitching, but who doesn't? You watch around the league, you go watch any team, Philadelphia, walk into town, they play Colorado, they look up and say, who the hell is this lefty? We don't really know. See you tomorrow. They put up 12 runs, and they go home. They see Paul Skeens the next day, they score 1 run. Right? It just comes with the territory of it, but it is frustrating. I think a lot of that comes from it. That's sort of what the Yankees have done in big games, is they've really no-showed against some of the game's best pitching, and they haven't found a way around that. And so people want to know in September if they'll do it in October. It's impossible to tell. So let's make them do it. Let's make Grisham, he's having a great year this year. Let's make him do it in October. Let's watch Aaron Judge, who probably should win the MVP, make him do it in October. And we're not going to get on him before it happens. So let's root for these guys. And then if you want to criticize them after they've failed, you can do that.
Yeah, and technically, what is it? You just have to win, 12 games? Right?
Is that all it is?
If you win the division, you only have to win 12 games.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yep.
If you don't win the division, then you have to win 14.
14 sounds like a lot. 12 does not. So let's go win the division. Obviously, if we fall short of that, we need to be at Yankee Stadium, take care of business, make sure Jake's last show isn't I guess our last show isn't me solo. So we'll see. Is that our last voicemail?
We got one more. Chris 99.
One more. Chris, let it fly. These are always
What's
great.
going on, guys? Been a while since a voicemail, but we're back. And a win. A win's a win. I was actually in attendance. That was 100 overall, 100 games overall for me. They won. Got to the postseason. Nice.
Wow.
Maybe not the way people wanted to win, but, my favorite saying is ugly wins are better than pretty losses. And if we're going to get, 6 ugly wins the rest of the way, 5 ugly wins the rest of the way, shit, I'll take it. I will gladly take it. But, what an AB from Caballero. That was an electric at that. And then obviously we tied a game with the wild pitch, and that's like the one thing that the White Sox pitcher just didn't have to do. That was the one thing you didn't have to do, and he did it, and that's how we score, and we win. Awesome. Takeaways I have: Luis Heel. He made one mistake, but the White Sox hitters were working a lot of counts, and I feel like this kind of gave everyone a definitive answer that Cam Schlittler, you're probably going to be a little bit more confident in him, because one, I'd rather, if a pitcher's going to get beat, I'd rather him get beat in the zone than to issue walks, and that's how guys kind of round the bases and score. I hate when we give up walks and those runners score. Like, I just don't like it. If Heel can control his walks, then obviously it's a completely different discussion, but that's a good takeaway. Volpe has been having better ABs, and if he's going to have that during this stretch, I will gladly take it. Ben Rice is continuing to hit the ball hard. I feel like I'm probably missing. Ryan McMahon obviously is a defensive mastermind, and Ben Rice with a couple good picks as well. So, again, ugly wins are better than pretty losses. Only one game back, technically two, because the Blue Jays hold the tiebreaker, but now they see Crochet with Scherzer on the bump, and they see Bayo, who's been struggling a little bit, but I think he could hopefully get back on top and hopefully help us see the vision. Pressure is all on Toronto. We'll see how it goes, and one game at a time. This is arguably one of the best weeks of baseball. See who gets in, see who gets eliminated. It's really fun, and hoping for the best result, which is a division win. Let's go Yankees, guys.
Yeah, only fun when you win, but
Yes.
I guess fun along the way. But yeah, Jake, I did see in our comment section someone mentioned that the division series is 5-game series. So technically, if you win the division, you have to win, I believe it would be, 11 games, right? You win 3, you move on from the division. You have to win 4 to move on the next, and you got 7, and you win 4 the next one.
Oh, right. That's
11.
Stupid. The 3 out of... I hate the 5-game series.
I wish all the series were 7 games. I feel it's a bit rushed. I get it. They probably don't want to have it where teams are playing in November in bad weather, but...
Then start the season earlier in March.
More than likely, that should be the scenario.
And that way you're... Yeah. It feels like this is easy stuff that... I don't know.
You have 6 months to pack this stuff in. You got to get that figured out. I don't want to see a Milwaukee Brewers play the style of baseball they played the whole year. They're the best team. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Now,
they lose
it's
because they
October.
didn't win. They lost 3 games, and then they're just done.
It's, from a technical standpoint, it's fair, but at the same time, one game can just flip home field after everything everyone did. I don't see the reason to it, but I guess we'll digress on that. We believe there should be a 7-game series in every series. Not the wild card. We get that. Those teams didn't win their division. So, but Jake, before you guys go, make sure you guys subscribe to Yankees Unloaded. Make sure you like the video. And Jake, you said you wanted to put in thank you, Cabby. Was that it?
Either that or holographic 5 guys.
I think the Cabby is better just for the situation. I mean, his at bat should be the story today. That's what the Yankees have missed for not this year, years. Just some ugly grinded out slap single to center field. The Yankees don't do that. They don't. They haven't had the style of play. They haven't had the personnel to do it. I mean, maybe Isaiah Kiner-Falefa could have maybe done it in a situation, but
He's
many
similar
players?
to Cairo, honestly. He's very similar to Miguel Cairo with a combination of him and Dave Roberts. So
I like that. So yeah, drop thank you, Cabby, in the comment section. If you stuck around with us for what's close to a 2-hour podcast, make sure you guys subscribe to Yankees Unloaded if you haven't yet. You can also become a member. I believe it's somewhere down in the comment section. If not, we'll drop it in there after the show. And make sure you guys like the video.
yeah, and real quick, Alex has something for you.
For me?
Wait, hold on. Where the hell to go?
Where did we go?
I don't even know.
What?
Oh.
So this is just AI?
Yeah.
Are we kidding?
Oh man, that's funny.
Oh my God. Not nearly enough seasoning on those French fries, but this is just barbaric.
So dumb.
Anyway, take me off this damn screen. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. How do we get back up on the screen? This is unbelievable.
I don't know where we went, but anyway.
All right. Well, now I'm Jake Ellenbogen. All right.
Like the video. Put a thank you, Cabby. Thank you, Alex, by the way, for that. And yeah, that's going to be
very unprofessional of my AI self. Like the video.
Later, guys.